Clash Royale just announced a brand new merch tactics update coming in the next season, so let's go over everything they're going to add. First up, we have a brand new ruler called the Battle Machine, and his ability brings a random 1-star building if you're in round 1, 2-star building if you're in round 3, 3-star building if you're in round 5, or a 4-star building if you are in round 8. So that last round, round 8, I don't know how useful that's going to be, but if you can make it that far, you get a free 4-star building, so that could honestly win you the game. And you get a -1 max team size. So I feel like this rule is going to be really RNG based. It's basically dependent on if you can make it to the late game because you get those free buildings. But other than that, you get no bonus elixir, no bonus team size, nothing. You actually lose a team size. So you basically just have to play a game of survival until you can get those buildings. So I think if you can make it to like the maybe fifth round, you could do good. But I don't know. Before that, I don't know how strong this rule is going to be, but we're going to have to see. Of course, they're adding a lot of new skins. They do that in every season. But guys, they're adding 3 brand new troops. First up, they're adding the mini P.E.K.K.A. He's going to cost 2 elixir, and he's going to be of the P.E.K.K.A. and Brutalist traits. And he's going to have no abilities. He's just going to do a lot of damage with low HP. Second, we have the Royal Giant. He's going to be Giant and Ranger. So interestingly, Ranger. I don't know. I didn't really expect that, but he's going to also have no ability. He's just going to be a bit tanky and do some ranged damage. So these are both 2 elixir troops. Next up, we have the Monk. So I actually predicted this one correctly. I don't even know how. I didn't expect the Monk to be added, to be honest, in the next update, but he actually is an ace in Superstar. So Superstar is one of the new traits. He gets a shield that deflects damage and heals when his ability bars charge up. So that sounds really strong, but we're going to have to see how much heal he does. Honestly, if he can deflect damage and heal, that's like a mix of an Archer Queen ability plus the Monk ability in the real game. So I think it's going to be really strong. But let's see the next changes they're going to be adding. They're actually removing 6 cards: Archer, Bomber, Knight, Baby Dragon, Ewiz, Giant Skeleton. The Baby Dragon and Ewiz just got added, and I guess they're getting removed. So actually, this is a problem that we kind of thought about, or I was thinking about in the last phase of the game, where if they just keep adding more cards, then the Spirit Empress is just going to get weaker and weaker. But they're actually they're actually removing 3 cards. They're adding 3 and they're removing 6. So there's going to be -3 if I'm not mistaken there. So that's actually going to be pretty good for the Spirit Empress, I believe. So we'll have to see. Maybe the Spirit Empress comes back into the meta. Maybe the Battle Machine is meta. I don't know. I think the Battle Machine is going to be completely independent though, because buildings you actually can't buy from the shop. But anyways, we'll get there when we do. The changes to the troop traits, of course, a lot of changes. A lot of troops are shifting their traits around because there are so many traits that are going to be removed and added. So for the brand new traits, we first have the Giant. That's going to affect the Royal Giant and the E-Giant. And the Giants will just take less damage. Pretty simple. The P.E.K.K.A. as well. We're going to have the mini P.E.K.K.A. of course, being added. So the P.E.K.K.A. and the mini P.E.K.K.A. will have that trait. And basically, they're going to do more damage and they'll heal 30% after they take down a troop. So plus 30% damage. They'll heal 30%. I think that's going to be really good in the early game. I don't know if that's going to be optimal in the late game, to be honest. But I still think it's a pretty balanced, pretty decent trait. And then we have Brutalist here. Mini P.E.K.K.A. Valk, God Machine, Skeleton King. So this is kind of going to replace the Juggernaut in a lot of cases because, I mean, these 3 cards were Juggernaut and the Juggernaut's getting removed. So you're going to have the Brutalist trait, which is they're going to gain hit speed bonus. And when they mark enemies, after they mark enemies 4 times with each hit, they're actually going to lose a percentage of their max HP, which honestly to me at first thought seems really powerful. Imagine you have the max Brutalist trait, you have 4 troops. What? I'm assuming if you mark each troop with 1 attack from each of your 4 Brutalists, that does 4 marks total to a specific troop. So that's already going to minus 40% of the HP. And I don't know, I feel like it's going to be really good, especially because of the fact that you have a Valkyrie, which does splash damage. So you're going to be hitting multiple troops, marking multiple troops at the same time. You also have the Skeleton King with his pierce damage and the God Machine with his missiles. They're going to be marking so many troops at once. I feel like this might become a meta trait, but we'll see. Superstars up next. We have Musketeer, E-Giant, Witch, and Monk. And their ability bar starts partially filled. So when the game starts, their ability bar is partially filled. And you have a 50% chance to actually recast after casting their ability. So essentially just to do a double ability. Honestly, this seems really RNG based 50%. It's kind of a coin flip, but I feel like if you do get that recast off, it's going to be very strong, especially for the E-Giant. And the early game ability bar is really good for the E-Giant as well. And if you can even just double down the ability, you're going to have like an infinite electric field for a long period of time. So I think that's going to be really good, especially also with the Witch. Spawn skeletons infinitely. Monk deflects and heals a lot. I feel like this is going to be pretty good. Next up, we have, of course, the following trades are going to temporarily rotate out. So this is interesting wording, guys. Pay attention. Temporarily rotate out. So this probably means that they could maybe rotate these traits back in future updates. We're going to have to see, though. Avenger, Electric, Fire. Of course, those just got added, Electric and Fire. Sad to see them go, but we have Juggernaut, which is huge. Juggernaut was just the best trait in the game, in my opinion. So that's going to change, which is going to be huge. The meta is going to completely shift. Mage, that's not big of a that big of a deal. Mage is pretty bad, probably the worst trait in my opinion. But next up, we have new modifiers that are based on buildings. So essentially, in these building-based modifiers, you're going to get a free building in the game, which is actually pretty good. And these buildings are not affected by the card level, so that's very good. No pay-to-win nonsense. Next up, they do not lose HP in the normal game. So you know how in normal Clash they'll lose HP over time. They don't do that here, which is pretty expected. I would say that would kind of suck. And then they don't account towards team size or ruler HP deduction. So that one's actually really interesting. I think what this means is actually I'm kind of confused what this means. Maybe the buildings don't do damage. They don't count towards ruler HP deduction. Maybe they don't do damage towards the other ruler. I'm not exactly sure what that means. That's a bit confusing, but we'll have to see. Next up, we have the new modifiers. Elixir Collector. Okay, so now you can actually move the collector onto the battlefield. Tesla, Expo, Mortar, of course. Inferno Tower. All these are building modifiers. The only new modifiers are going to be buildings. So you're just going to get a free building in every game. So the only way to get buildings is through these modifiers or the battle machine. So you can't actually buy them from the real shop if I'm not mistaken. And next up, we have other changes. So emotes, guys, we're getting emotes added to merge tactics. This is going to be huge. Honestly, emotes were probably a top 5 highly requested feature, so I'm definitely glad they're adding that. It's nothing crazy that's going to change the game, but it's definitely like a quality of life improvement for sure. Next up, we have battle stats. So this is going to be sort of like the TFT stats in the sense that it actually shows you the HP, the damage dealt. So we'll look at a real example of that in the future. And then next we have zoom in, zoom out, quality of life improvement. And now you could sort ruler skins. So let's actually move on. And I actually don't have access to the dev build, so I'm just going to have to watch Abdude's video. Shout out to Abdude here with all the gameplay. But first up, we have the elixir pump. This is how it's going to work. I'm just going to mute his sound. But basically, it's going to charge. And after that ability is full, you're going to generate elixir. So I'm assuming as you upgrade the pump, it's probably going to get faster, or it's going to generate maybe 2, 3, 4 elixir. But the pump, I don't know. It seems pretty good, I'll say. You get elixir, but in some rounds where you just die, and the pump dies without getting value, I don't know how that's going to go. I still think it's going to be pretty decent, but not as strong as I expected. Now the Tesla here, the Tesla's range is actually not good. And the thing is with the buildings, after the first round, after you place it down initially, you can't move it. So that kind of sucks. I don't know why they did that, to be honest, because you can't really change up your placement and stuff, but you're actually not going to be able to move the buildings after you place them. So that's going to kind of suck. The Tesla here, of course, its range is not very good. Sometimes it even goes rounds without getting used, as you can see here, because its range sucks. So the fact that you can't move it, I still think it's going to be valuable, though. Because if they're facing melee units, obviously it's going to get activated. But the mortar here is up next. He has infinite range with the entire map -1. So you have to place it in the second to last row in order to reach the back line. So it's the same range as the princess, I believe. And then next up, we have the Inferno Tower. The Inferno Tower is a very fragile tower, but it does a lot of damage. So I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty good. You just have to place it maybe a bit further back so that it actually gets value. And of course, there you can't move the buildings. And lastly, with the Expo actually does not attack until its ability bar charges up. So as you can see here, now it's going to start attacking because its ability bar charges up. What am I watching? This does so much damage. It's actually so broken. If you can protect the Expo until the ability bar charges up, you just win the game. It's so broken. I feel like the Expo is going to be extremely powerful. So that's with all the buildings here. And then next, let's look at these battle stats here, guys. It's sort of like TFT if you guys have played. They're going to show the damage dealt with these two cards on either side. So I don't think it's going to be that helpful here. You can toggle between health, the heal, the shields. I don't think it's going to be that helpful, but I guess it's like a little quality of life improvement. I don't really think we needed that. But of course, as you can see here, emotes will appear under your name like that. So you can start BMing your opponents if you'd like. But there, guys, that is pretty much it for the entire brand new Merge Tactics update. I'm honestly pretty excited. This is going to change the game completely, especially with the addition of buildings and this new battle machine ruler. It's hard to tell what's going to be meta yet, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.